what really helped me, and I think, again, I'm very lucky just from genetically, and I don't understand it fully, but I remember what happened was I was very much struggling with binge eating. I had, at a certain point, I switched over to intermittent fasting. Actually, one of my wrestling coaches was intermittent fasting. He had me get onto the Warrior Diet, which is written by Ori Hofmeckler. In my intermittent fasting video, I explain it, so the link will be in the description for that. It's a 20-hour fast followed by a 4-hour eating window, which basically means for 20 hours a day you fast, and 4 hours a day you can eat as much as you want. And if you understand anything about binge eating, that is another way of basically begging you, please start binge eating, where it doesn't matter how many calories you eat, it doesn't matter, just 4 hours, eat as much as you possibly want. Hearing it back now, I'm like, what a fucking idiot, of course, but I didn't know at the time. I was 17 years old. I was like, that sounds amazing. And it's almost like very exciting. Like, you mean I can eat as much as I want for 4 whole hours? Of course I'll fast for 20 hours a day. I would love to do that. And it became this addiction. I couldn't possibly not fast for 20. I mean, there would be times where like I would fast for 24 hours or even longer, because in my mind I was like, well, if I could fast for longer, then I could even eat more in that time period. The idea of breaking my fast earlier was petrifying. In my mind, I thought if I started eating earlier in the day, I would have way fewer calories to work with at night, and like that was super scary. Over time, the amount of food you can eat in that short time window, it can be tremendous. And if you struggle with binge eating, or if you have, like, you know what I'm talking about, where at first like you're very limited simply by how full you get, but over time your fullness signals go down, they get diluted. It's hard to feel them, and you can eat more and more and more and more. And even at a point when you do get full, you keep eating way past the point of discomfort. Like, you don't feel good, you're not happy with yourself, but you keep eating. This cycle perpetuates itself. This is one of the reasons why for people with emotional eating or disordered eating or food anxiety or binge eating, I don't recommend intermittent fasting, because it perpetuates this save my calories up for a big meal at the end of the day. And that's what I was doing. I was in college at this point. I was on winter break for my first year in college. I was learning a lot about fitness at this point. I was very deep into the research and the science. It's been a lot of time studying binge eating and emotional eating disorders, the psychology of why people make the decisions they make. At this point in my life, 19, 20 years old, I was like, I have a problem. I didn't talk to anyone about it, which I don't regret it, and I don't recommend it. I'm an anomaly in some cases in that I was just very lucky that I was able to get out of it. I very much want you to know, just because I didn't talk to someone doesn't mean you shouldn't talk to someone about it. I remember I was on winter break, and I was at my mom's apartment in Boston. She had no idea. She was not aware of it. I hid it very well, which, again, if you binge eat, then you can probably understand, like, you're probably pretty good at hiding it. I remember I was tired of it. It was every day there was anxiety. Every day there was feelings of disgust and anger at myself. Like, why could I, literally eating like a whole loaf of bread, just being like, why am I doing this? I don't understand it. So I remember I literally went into my mom's bathroom when she was at work, and I looked myself in the mirror. I was probably 20 years old at the time. I looked myself in the mirror. I was like, this has to stop right now. No more. You are done. This is it. That was the last time. Basically, I told myself, I have to eat breakfast every day. There was absolutely no excuse for not eating breakfast every day. Before 8 a.m., I had to do it. The way that I sort of bargained with myself, I was like, there's no calorie counting. I didn't let myself calorie count, because the more I calorie counted, the more stressed and anxious I would get. I had to eat breakfast, and I said it could be as big as I want it to be. It could be as much food as I want it to be, but I had to have protein and I had to have vegetables. And so every day, I would have a big plate. It would fit on one plate, as much food as I wanted on it, but it would be at least protein and at least vegetables, and I wouldn't calorie count. It was so anxiety producing when I first started. I can't even begin to tell you. I was so anxious the first day I sat down to have a big breakfast. I remember just being like, I can't believe I'm breaking my fast right now. And I was thinking, I'm gonna be so hungry later. I'm gonna binge later because I'm not gonna have any calories left. It was almost instant in that within a week of me starting and having breakfast before 8 a.m., as big of a breakfast as I wanted, like a big breakfast, the desire to binge was gone. I wasn't counting my calories. I was not tracking a single thing. I said 3 meals and 2 snacks. I would have 3 meals a day and 2 snacks. 1 big breakfast, 1 big lunch, 1 big dinner. They all had to fit on 1 plate, and 2 snacks. Each snack could fit in my palm. The snack could be either a protein or a fruit and a vegetable. So it could have been like Greek yogurt and vegetables, or it could have been like an apple and vegetables. I wasn't overly strict with that, but I was like just a good sized snack that would fit in the palm of my hand, 2 of those a day, and then three big meals. And that was it. I didn't count my calories again. I keep repeating that not because I just ramble, but I do. But if you struggle with binge eating and you do count calories, stop. Counting calories for some people is very helpful, especially if you don't have any idea how much you're eating, or if you're really struggling to lose weight. But a lot of people They keep counting calories because they need that sense of control or else they're gonna lose everything. And if that's you and you're still binge eating, stop counting. In the same way that someone, if they don't wanna start counting calories, they'll say, hey, just do it for 7 days, see how it goes. If you're nervous about stopping counting calories, stop for 7 days. Just don't count for 7 days. 3 meals, 2 snacks. Use that as your kickstart to get going. It can be super, super helpful. And at least in that way that it's only 7 days, there's a light at the end of the tunnel. That worst comes to worst, cool, you go back to doing it. But give it 7 days. And if those 7 days go by and you feel good, add another 7 days. Or make it a 30-day thing. But start with something. 24 hours would be better than nothing at all, right? What I want to offer a couple things. Number one is I want to offer you the opportunity to open up and have a place to discuss this, which if you haven't discussed it before, I would encourage you to think about opening up in the comments. Take an opportunity to express how you're feeling, what you've been through, what you're going through, and how you want to improve. I know people in my Inner Circle members do this all the time, and if you're in the Inner Circle, please comment in the Inner Circle Facebook group. I would love to see that. I want to offer you the opportunity to take the first step right now, which is to talk about it in the comment section, and then if you haven't already, see if you can find someone to get help with. Whether it's a therapist, whether it's a friend, just to start, just talk to somebody. Because I think once you can open up about it and discuss it without barriers and just be truthful, that's a lot of times enough to break down sort of the walls that are built and to start fresh. That's where I'm gonna leave it. I hope you liked the video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you don't already. Thank you, I appreciate you so much. Thank you, have a good day.